We're here today to state that any reduction by the state of Illinois to the local government distributive fund is in fact a stealth tax. We've gathered a large group of mayors and village presidents that represent taxpayers and constituents throughout the state of Illinois, and we're here to tell our story. First, we'd like to start with the players who are here today, so we'll start on my right hand and work all the way through. Village presidents and mayors, step up and let us know.
Mayor Tom Weisner from the city of Aurora.
George Van Dusen, Mayor Village of Skokie.
Karen Darch, Village President, Barrington.
Kathleen Leitner, Village President, Tower Lakes.
Bob Aboud, Village President, Barrington Hills.
Bill McLeod, Mayor of Hoffman Estates.
Luella Preston, Trustee Niles.
Michael Garvey, Village President of Brookfield.
Rod Craig, Village President, Hanover Park.
Dan McLaughlin, Mayor of Orland Park.
Gene Siegel, Mayor Chicago Ridge.
Marshall Cedar, trustee, LaGrange Park.
Pat Rocco, Trustee, LaGrange Park.
Marty Moylan, Mayor Des Plaines.
Arlene Chiserney, Mayor Village of Harwood Heights.
Larry Hartwig, Mayor of the Village of Addison.
Jeff Prine, Mayor of the Village of Itasca.
Sandy Froome, President, Village of Northbrook.
Jerry Bennett, Mayor, City of Palos Hills.
Don DeGraff, the Mayor of the Village of South Holland.
Arlene Mulder, Mayor from Arlington Heights.
Gary Grasso, Mayor Burr Ridge.
John Nook, Mayor Romeoville.
Urbana Wilkes, Mayor of Mount Prospect.
Dave Cook, Manager Hinsdale.
Joe Wade, Administrator Morton Grove.
Jeff White, Trustee, Village of Stickney.
Rick Reinbold, Mayor of Richardson Park. Gene Unen, Budget Director, City of Chicago.
George Van Gee, Manager at Niles.
David Coe, President of Oak Park.
Jessica Tucker, Village President, Winnetka.
Sam Palia, Village President, Westchester.
Elizabeth Tisdall, Mayor of Evanston. Terry Kearns, I'm the Mayor of the Village of Diamond.
Dale Berman, Village President, North Aurora.
Chris Canning, President of the Village of Wilmette.
Bill Murray, Administrator, Village of Willow Springs.
Mary Warner, Trustee, Village of Worth.
Bob Nonamaker, Village President, Fox River Grove.
Eugene Williams, Mayor of Village of Glenbridge.
Terry Kindly, Village President, Village of McCollum Lake.
And Carrie Cummings, village president in Glenview. I will ask, we have some uniform members here, if you would announce where you're from.
Dan McCullum, Police Chief, LaGrange Park.
Mario Riccio, Chief of Public Safety, Harwood Heights. Tom Epson, Oak Park Fire Chief.
Ricky Tanksley, Oak Park Police Chief.
Mark Nolan, Fire Chief, Northbrook.
Rich Belmonte, Fire Chief, Westchester.
Frank Figueroa, Deputy Chief, Stickney Police Department.
Jeff Cuccio, Deputy Chief, Hills Hills Police Department.
And we thank all of those in uniform for joining us here today, again, to express the importance of this issue. I will walk you through the various people who have volunteered to speak today and talk to this important issue. Some of it is that this is a shared revenue. We are partners with the state of Illinois, and from what we understand, there is talk, and some of it is to say, well, it's only a little bit of the share that belongs to municipalities and to our residents. We also have already shared the pain, and you look at this group here, each and every one of us runs a budget. And 2.5 years ago, when there was the economic downturn, each and every one of us had to address the shortfalls in our budgets. We have already done that through extensive cuts, through changes in how we deliver our services, and we really have had to already make those tough decisions that we expect to be made in Springfield. With that, I will ask Aurora Mayor Tom Weisner.
Could you spell your name at the podium too, please? Sure. Do I have to get to the podium first? You do. Tom Weisner, W-E-I-S-N-E-R. Tom is T-O-M, as you might expect.
And Aurora.
City of Aurora.
Mayor.
Okay, you kind of ruined my opening now. I was just talk about how we are the second most populous city in the state of Illinois.
Well, we knew that. You're the Mayor or Village President?
Mayor.
Thanks.
Thank you. I want to thank the media for being here today, but I also want to thank such a large number of my colleagues from across Illinois for being here as well. And it is clear that the reason they're here is because they share the concerns that I have, and so many mayors have across our entire state. Cities across Illinois have been cutting millions of dollars in expenditures and laying off hundreds of employees over the past 3 years in order to balance our budgets without raising taxes. Some of us have even found it necessary to lay off police officers or to not fill openings as they occur. Fire service brownouts and closures have also occurred. These are tough decisions, but across the state, mayors have been making them for the past 3 years. Contrast that with the state, which has dawdled and equivocated over the past 3 years. I spent yesterday in Springfield, and I'm sorry to say that even as the state's finances boil over into crisis stage, the culture of spending in Springfield remains alive. This culture of spending has persisted in Springfield for over 30 years under Republican and Democratic governors alike. And I do want to make an aside here and say that, using a fire metaphor, that I find it hard to blame the current governor too much for that over 30 or 40 years because of his recent arrival on the scene. Somewhat like a fireman arriving in a 5-alarm fire after the roof has already caved in. But we are where we are, and we need to move forward. For years, state pension payments were redirected. Now there is an $80 to $100 billion shortfall. Next, the legislator looked into every nook and cranny of the state budget and swept from funds from other budget accounts to continue spending. When that source of spending got tapped out, the legislature raised our income taxes by 66%. But even that hasn't quenched the legislature's thirst for new revenue. After raising income taxes, some legislators are now trying to steal the portion of income taxes that local taxpayers pay to support local community services, including public safety. What these legislators are proposing, in stark reality, and whether they like to admit it or not, is to literally take police off the streets of Chicago, off the streets of suburban cities, and off the streets of towns in our downstate communities. For that is precisely what will happen if this legislature raised local government distributive fund in order to pay for further spending. This proposal to raid local revenues, which has its strongest support in the Republican Senate and among Chicago Democrats, will result in a reduction in fire services as well in many of our communities. The proposed raid on local government distributive fund dollars does not constitute a cut in spending by the state legislature. It constitutes a taking of local revenue intended for critical local services so that the state can continue its spending habits. This is not a responsible cut in expenditures by the state. It is a transfer of responsibility for state overspending to local communities and to local taxpayers. The mess in Springfield was created in Springfield. Springfield has already raised our taxes on all of us once. We ask them, we ask you, our legislature, don't take police and firemen off of our streets with another tax increase on our residents, a stealth tax. It's time for Springfield to clean up its own mess. Thank you for your time.
And now we have Eugene Williams from Linwood.
Eugene Williams, Mayor of Linwood. Did you need me to spell that one out again? I have a very brief message for you. As Mayor of Linwood, and I'm also presently the president of South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association, but I'd kind of like to speak to us as a citizen of Linwood, just a resident, which we all are. We live in our towns and we pay taxes and we expect certain things to happen. We expect it. We have always expected because we're so involved, we've always expected that 10% would always come back to the villages. That's why we pay taxes. That's what we expected to do. We have some streets that residents in my town may recognize aren't fixed this year and wondering when they're coming. Well, we haven't forgotten about those things, but these are the kinds of monies that we use to take care of that stuff.